Right then, I think we're gonna get into the game between Cardiff and KVGS, the team from Kent. This is our second round of the top 16, guys. If these guys win this game, they will be guaranteed a place in our Super 8. Ah, wow, the Super 8. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be what you see in rugby. The Super 8 in a the Super 8 for a team is going to be this year-wide teams competing against each other, a little bit like the LCS, but we're going to have more promotion and demotion tournaments for people in the other brackets. So, I've seen Cardiff a lot, Space. I know a couple of their players, and I know exactly what they favour, but are you looking forward to this game? And considering how each of them seem to have won quite readily in their first games, do you think this one should be a good one?
This is going to be a very, very good match right here. My eye is actually going to be on Oatgerm and What the Moose. Now, as you know, What the Moose actually does YouTube channels and whatnot. People know him in the UK community for being a mid laner. I've played with him I've played with him and against him before in a few different tournaments and scrims. So it'll be quite interesting to see what he'll do with his team that he's in. And and basically how this match is going to turn out.
Yeah, and this is what I really like about the NUEL. You have these members. We have a Dignitas UK member. He's playing one of his university teams. You've got What the Moose. He's a YouTube personality for the UK. We've got loads of people who are high elo, like UK personalities for the esports scene, and they're playing with their university team in the NUEL. This is what's so great about this tournament. You can have people who you would never have had the chance to play with before, and now they're playing with you in a team. So, picks and bans coming out straight off the bat. Let's have a look. Shen Fizvi, and we have Elise, Ken, and Ari. What are your thoughts, Space?
Well, Ari especially, as you know, Ari is very, very strong. You've seen her in the first game when you had Newcastle against Nottingham, and Ari was just a very strong pick for them. She's very, very highly contested, so there's no much surprise coming out from that. Same with Fizz, very highly contested pick. When we look at Elise seems to be quite highly contested at times, although it could actually just be a targeted ban. We're going to actually look at the picks here, but what do you think about the first team here?
Well, I was just saying, I've seen Oatgem play Elise a few times, and he's been really good on it. He actually favoured Zac quite early in the jungle, but since Zac's had those couple of nerfs to the way his blobs react when you use his abilities, he's actually become a little bit less potent, especially when you're trying to collect your own blobs, because now they're harder for you to collect and easier for the enemy to stand on. So he's actually going to go for a Jarvan, and also another one of his popular jungles. I've seen Oatgem play this a few times, and he's really, really quite good. We're seeing another Caitlyn Lulu lane here. Maybe another lane swap, but we haven't seen the top laners from either team yet, so we can't call it right now. And then a Corki and a Sona, so really strong poke coming out from the Cardiff team right now. I have seen a couple of roster changes for the Cardiff team, not from the same teams that they've been having from their pre-season friendlies. What are you expecting to see? They've got a Renekton coming out as well. Wow, that's going to be really strong for Kent's team right now. They did have a good display in the first game. And Caitlyn, Lee Sin, Renekton, and Lulu is a really strong team for that mid-game skirmishes.
Yeah, they really. But what right now is that Kent really want to go for skirmishes in the early and mid game. You've got Renekton with his Ruthless Predator. You've got Lee Sin for his Resonating Strike. Lulu's very strong in skirmishes when she hits level 6, and Caitlyn has a very scary early game power with Harass and Zoning. Looking at Cardiff seem to be looking for a more team-orientated teamfight comp. You've got Sona for Crescendo, and you've got Jarvan with the Cataclysm, and Corki's very, very strong in teamfights with rockets and his phosphorus bombs. Now,
wow, I've just seen Ovidius hover over this Malzahar.
I can't think that that's going to be legit. I like
Malzahar. In his recent match history, it's pretty much all he's been playing, and he likes to rush that Leandri's Torment. And actually, he's like Brand. He has really big synergy with Leandri's Torment. And I think that if Ovidius locks this in, I think it's going to be hard to beat him in the mid lane, because actually Malzahar's one of those champions you don't tend to see, and it's quite hard to play against, but actually he's switched over to the Zed. So even though he's been playing a lot of Malzahar recently, looks like someone's going to pick the Zed. And we're going to have a Zed Vladimir right here. Is Vladimir going to get big enough to be that split pushing monster?
Well, if you look at it right now, you've got Renekton who's going to be in him in the top lane. Now, Renekton does quite well against Vladimir, up until Vladimir starts to get some items, so they're looking probably to camp him early and force flashes and force ghost. If he does take the flash and the ghost, he's going to be quite hard to gank with he's got Sanguine Pool, but it seems right now Vladimir's going to take Flash Ignite. I don't think that that's going to go through until the final into the final game, but in looking at the comp, it looks like that Cardiff really want to go teamfight orientated. You've got Zed with Deathmark, you've got Vladimir with his Hemo Plague. They really want to have like an AoE teamfight comp in which they can just power over.
And what the Moose has locked in Victor, no hesitation right there. You know him better than I do.
Oh.
Is he a big Victor player in space?
To be honest, I've never seen him play Victor personally. I find it very, very surprising that he has picked Victor. This is going to be interesting because Victor's seen a lot of love recently. He got a new skin, and people do underrate Victor quite a lot. Looking at his previous games, he does actually play a lot of Victor in solo queue. Right now he has 102 wins to 76 losses, so he does favour Victor, although personally I've never seen him play Victor or played against him when he's been playing Victor, so this is going to be a new experience for many of you out there, including myself.
Yeah, I've actually seen VDS play a wide variety of mid lane champions. I think he's got quite a big pool, especially someone who plays Malzahar, which is also one of those champions people don't tend to see that much anymore. I think he will respect the Victor. I don't think he's going to completely underestimate it. I don't think he's going to go all in, because Victor has that really, really potent AoE stun that has the slow into the stun, and if Zed gets caught in it, he's pretty much boned. So I think he's going to do a really good job. And obviously Victor has the shield, so Victor can sort of negate part of the damage that Zed does with his Deathmark. I think Avidius is going to play this smart. But what the Moose is a very good mid laner. We both know it. He's not a YouTube personality for no reason. So I think Avidius is going to have to play this quite safe, and maybe wait for Oatgem to help him out. I've seen Oatgem and Avidius make some really decent plays in the mid lane. Actually, if you go and watch of our highlights from one of the preseason friendly tournaments, www.youtube.com/theNUEL, you'll be able to go and see some of the plays that Ovidius had made previously. He picked up a really good double kill on a Syndra. Ovidius is actually really, really decent on Syndra, so it'd be good to see if he pulls out anything like that. And that's Oatgem playing Java in that game too, so they're both versed on working together in that mid lane, and they've played a lot of games together as well.
Yeah, Cardiff were actually in season 1 of NUEL, and they played very well. They were actually in the top tier of teams. I'm a mid laner, and I played for QMB Kids, and Oatger was such a problem because he used to camp mid lane very hard for Ovidius, and that used to be one of the hardest parts of playing against Cardiff, because they used to they have that Jarvan, and that's always been quite a favourable pick for them. If what the Moose overextends at any point, Oatgerm's going to be there, and believe me, he's going to be ganking.
Yeah, and to be honest, looking at pushing potential from both sides, both of them have pretty good push potential. I think it's fairly even in terms of the ability. Zed has a good wave clear. Victor has a good wave clear. Renekton has a good wave clear, but then so does Vlad. The only thing lane I think is slightly outmatched is the wave clear between Sona Corki and Caitlyn Lulu. Caitlyn Lulu having the slight edge there. But again, we don't know if we're going to see a lane swap yet. Vlad does okay in the lane swap. He's susceptible to dives because he's still a squishy top lane champion. He's not like Renekton, who's got the utility of the stun, and he's only got that 2-second pull, which once that's down, he's got like a 18-second period where he can get dived pretty easily. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see if any lane swaps do occur. We are about to get into game. What are you hoping to see level 1 here, Space? Because both teams have got moderately okay level 1 teams.
Looking at Kent in particular, they have a lot of defense when it comes to the level 1 invade. They've got Victor. If he puts down his trap, that slows for him for about a second, then it stuns. Anyone gets caught in that, they're going to be dead, because Renekton can get right in there and Ruthless Predator. it's going to be very, very difficult for them to escape if they show up at the wrong time.
Yeah. So I think that again, level 1 plays are going to be a big factor here because we saw how much it affected the Newcastle-Nottingham game. The game was won, really, in essence, in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah,
in my opinion, I think if Corgi hadn't got that double kill, it wouldn't have been as one-sided as it was. But looking to this game, wow, there are 2 diamonds from last season in the Kent team. They're coming in strong. They've got a big mid laner and a big AD carry. If those guys can get farmed and ahead, well, I think Cardiff are going to have problems.
Yeah, but we need to look at how they're going to play. They both teams have a separate strategy from the other one. If you're looking at Cardiff, they really want to go in for these 5-man full initiates, whereas Kent want to go more for skirmishes, and they want to have Renekton top lane pushing, while the 4 of them have a skirmish round about the dragon area, bot lane, or maybe even mid lane, or even if Lee Sin can get to the point where he is invading Jarvan's jungle, is very, very strong.
Yeah, and Lee is one of those sort of jungler skirmishers who can do really well 1v1, and Jarvan's one of the better picks against Lee Sin, but if Lee Sin starts Doran's Blade and looks to engage in the jungle, I think Jarvan's going to have a problem, because Jarvan starting Doran's Blade is not a viable option. I've never seen anyone do it, and I would be surprised if Oakgem did decide to pick that up. Lee is actually going for Hunter's Machete, so it doesn't look like he's really wanting to get these early skirmishes. You often find people who take Doran's Blade will be looking to get level 3 skirmishes in the top lane because they know they'll have the advantage with the Doran's Blade in like a 2v2. Looks like we've got a pause coming out already. We will let you know the reason behind it if we can. Looks like the jungler from Kent has got a problem. We're having this every game so far, guys. I'm sorry. It's a classic EU West. We're just having some problems. But right now, it looks like they're gearing up. Everyone is just running down the mid lane, maybe to protect their blue buff, but again, we could be seeing some red invades coming out. What do you think here, Space?
Looking at this right now, I doubt there's going to be any invades. Either team is going to be quite scared, although the red team has been pinging to go to the banana brush, as I call it. So we might see an invasion here.
Yes, Renekton has not picked up a skill yet, so he can still start his Ruthless Predator. Neither has Victor. Actually, no, Victor has started up his Death Ray, so he wants to go for that early damage. Doesn't want to lose that poke in lane level 1. Oakgem and everyone from Cardiff are grouped up in that small brush, maybe expecting a blue invade. Looks like Kent are running around the backside of the Cardiff's red buff. They're going to go for that tri-brush invade. No one expects that anymore, and no one wards for it. It's such an old-school tactic that you used to see in Season 2 all the time, and it's been working out really well for teams so far. But Cardiff are responding in kind. Looks like they're going to go straight up for the red buff of the Kent team, and looks like we're going to see a switcheroo of the red buffs.
Right now, it's very, very vital that Jarvan does get the red buff from Kent, because if he does not get this buff, then he's going to have to go back to blue. He gets his blue and then he goes to red, and then there's no red buff for him.
Kent have just sat on a ward from Cardiff, so they know that they're there. Corki and Sona being really safe. We're not going to see the same mistake that came out in the Newcastle game. Lulu is warding up, hoping to catch someone out there, but I think they're just going to trade red buffs. Pings are coming down from the Cardiff team, so from the Kent team onto the Cardiff's invade on their blue buff, but I think we're just going to have an old switch through here. Lee's going to take away Jarvan's, and Jarvan's going to take away Lee's. However, is this going to work in favour of Cardiff? Because Jarvan can go straight for his blue buff and then go to top lane. Looks like Renekton possibly thinking about face checking, but probably getting pinged back. I don't think they want to risk it.
That was a good smite from Lee Sin right there. It was very, very close. If that was a second too early, Sona would have had that red buff, and that would have been huge.
Yeah, they're going to clear the minions out for Jarvan. Lee's had to use his smite up. It means he can't go to the blue buff and take it away straight away. Jarvan, however, did not have to use his smite. Has still got it up, so he can go straight into this blue buff. And maybe look to go on the Renekton at top, who doesn't have a ward. He started Doran's shield. What do you think about that? Odd pick up against a Vlad who's going to be harassing with his Q.
Well, the fact about Dorn's Shield, it gives health and it gives health regen. Now, health regen is very strong against Vladimir because Vladimir is a harass champion. So he's actually going to also use his auto attacks as well as his transfusion to harass Renekton down. You also get a pot with the Doran Shield, so it's not a bad pickup. Although we are
Looks like he's coming
top.
in. Vlad pulls straight on to get the slowdown. Looks like he's going to be slicing and dicing away, and he gets away with a bit of harass though, so it's not great for the Renekton there. Didn't have to burn flash though. Decent pull from the Vladimir. Slightly put the Renekton off guard, I feel. I think we have colorblind mode on, guys. Do we have colorblind mode on space?
Check it. Yep, colorblind mode is enabled.
Colorblind mode is enabled, guys. I'm sorry if you're having troubles, but there's everything that we can do with the Riot client right now. I think we enabled it during the last game. Corki is getting really hardcore taken down in this bot lane. The Cardiff having problem against this Frankenfran guy. He just blew his barrier. Lulu just using her glitter lance to try and poke the Caitlyn, poke the Sona. Sona's probably going to be looking to level her heal here first for the amount of poke that's coming out. This Diamond AD carry really doing some serious damage to the Corki. And, oh wow, Lulu gets her E onto him and the glitter lance procs. Caitlyn tries to hit the Q but just misses. Just like Oak jumps coming into this mid lane, trying to catch onto the Victor. Victor gets knocked up. He gets the stun down. No one's going to jump in there. No one gets completely stunned, but I think Oakgerm gets the first blood with the Ignite with that brilliant Dragon Strike. And wow, the camp in mid lane working out for Cardiff as it usually does.
Yeah, as I was saying, Oakgerm really likes to go mid lane and make these ganks happen. Victor is very susceptible to ganks, having no innate escape. So burning that flash and also managing to get the kill, that's going to be huge. It's also going to allow Oakgerm to come back into mid lane and kill Victor again, because he has absolutely no way of stopping him.
Yeah, and it looks like Vladimir got taken really low. It looks like Oakgerm is coming into this bot lane. There is a ward in the brush, and I think they're going to see him and just back out. I don't think Caitlyn and Lulu want to get too cookie right here. Vladimir getting taken really low, like I said, in this top lane. But he did start Rejuvenation Bead and Pots, so he has got that sustain to get himself back up. Renekton gets a slice and dice onto him. Ruthless Predator takes a tower hit for his trouble. Wow, taken pretty low right there. Vladimir not managing to get many transfusions off here, and Renekton's now level 5. He's got to be really careful, because if Renekton chooses to go in with his Ignite, that'll be a dead Vladimir.
Yeah, it's very, very, very scary for Vladimir right now. But he should be able to use his Sanguine Pill to his advantage. And as you can see, Renekton's just going to back off right now. Not going to try anything too risky. Even though he does have Flash and Ignite, you don't want to be tower diving and giving away a needlessly kill like that, because then Vladimir will get ahead, and if Vladimir becomes a big problem if you allow him to become a problem.
Yeah, if Vladimir gets that split push potential, he can clear waves in seconds, especially when he keeps up his Tides of Blood at 4 stacks. Costs more health, but he does a crazy amount of damage as well. You don't want to let Vladimir get to that late game potential, because he can just be a complete ass to deal with. You cannot do anything against him. Looks like Renekton is staying here. He has used his hasn't used his flash, so Oakgerm probably isn't going to get the kill here. And I don't think Vladimir has the kill potential at this point in the game. I think Vladimir is going to wait for Renekton to try and go in on him. Renekton is going pretty hard. Vladimir pulls. Everyone is really low right now. Is Renekton going to try and get the kill on him? Vladimir has got his Ignite up. I don't know if he's going to be able to kill him. While Oakgerm is tower diving. Oh, and wow, another beautiful Dragon Strike, and he escapes with a sliver of life. Wow, really well played from Oakgerm, and you can see why he is good on Jarvan.
Yeah, right there. Just Oakgerm's massive jungle presence. Lee Sin hasn't been able to outgank Jarvan right now, purely because Jarvan is that strong early game when it comes to these ganks. So I hope Lee Sin has managed to make some kind of play to counteract how much advantage Jarvan has given to his laners right now.
Yeah, and Lee hasn't been doing too much with his time, but he is level 5 right now, and has been farming up moderately well. He's 10 farm ahead of the Jarvan, but Jarvan has been exerting that pressure that he needs to on his lanes. Lee Sin went back, picked up a Doran's Blades, has the skirmishing potential over the Jarvan. Jarvan has, however, just finished up his Spirit Stone, looking towards heading for an early Spirit of the Ancient Golem. There is a ward in there for the bot lane. Jarvan is just going to wander into the lanes just to try and protect this turret. He doesn't want it to go down too early. It is heading towards 8 minutes. I don't know if the turret is going to last that long if Jarvan wasn't there to look after it. So yeah, really well played from the Jarvan. He's doing exactly what his team needs, really, and commends to him, because he's completely out jungling the Ken jungler right now.
Yeah, it just becomes the kind of jungler who's doing everything that he needs to be doing. His laners are now doing the work because he got them ahead. So now Kent really needs to get something out of what they haven't got right now. If they can get a gank off somewhere or pressure bot or mid lane, they need to start doing these things. Top lane right now is not very gankable because Vladimir is starting to get to the point where he does have a revolver and his HP is becoming quite high due to his passive. So he's going to be quite hard to gank, especially because Renekton isn't building damage. He does go for that Negatron cloak first over actually
Yeah, it doesn't look like
large.
doesn't look like Oakgerm's coming into the mid lane to try and do something on this blue buff, and Zed and Jarvan are just heading around for it. Are they going to catch the Victor out? Lee Sin is in that area. He is going to go round for that blue buff. This could be a catch on the Victor when he goes to try and take this blue buff away. Lee Sin is level 5. Oakgerm is level 6 right now. He's got his ultimate up. Is he just going to take it away, or is Victor going to come and give it? Yeah, Victor is coming round. Wow, no, he's used his massive standard. Is he going to catch him out? They're going to deathmark on him. The Cataclysm comes out, gets procced down. Is he going to get taken down? He's taken so low. Yes, OBD is just picking up the kill on the Zed. Really well played. Lee Sin smiting away the blue. He's now hit level 6. Wow, jumps onto him. His Sonic Wave just gets out and he safeguards into the Lulu. So yeah, really well played. They're really dumping on this Victor right now, and that's what you need to do with the Victor because he doesn't have much escape potential.
Yeah, right now Victor's very volatile to be getting getting ganks right now, and he also doesn't have damage, so that when someone ganks him, he just can't turn around, lay off all of his skills, and hope to kill someone. He just doesn't have the items nor the levels to do so.
Yeah, and wow, and now Vladimir is pulling onto the Renekton. Renekton pops his Donomus, and he pulls out of the thing. So sorry, not pulled. He used his Hemoplague on the Renekton right there in the turret, trying to get the kill off. He did have Ignite coming up in a few seconds. Maybe he was hoping to chase him down. But again, this is just another more period for Vladimir to free farm, and the Renekton now is going to struggle.
Yeah, that was quite a good opportunity for Vladimir just to try and get the lane advantage. If you can try and force Renekton out early, and that was an entire creep wave that he just missed purely because Vladimir went in for it. Didn't burn any summoners of his own, and Renekton had to get put back, does lose. I mean, he's going to be a level behind now. That's pretty big for Vladimir. And once Vladimir does push that wave up, he can go back and get some new items and become even more of a problem for Renekton.
Yeah, now Renekton is engaging onto him. Jarvan comes in, knocks him up. Is this a bit of a mistake for Renekton? Renekton has still got everything available. Despite what's happened, no summoners have been burned on top lane, except for Vlad's Ignite. And that's just come back up. And now bot lane is just getting pushed on a little bit. Either Caitlyn, she's doing a good job of CSing right now. She's currently sitting at about 20 CS ahead of the Kabuki, but every other lane is in favour of Cardiff right now, and the jungler is doing some extreme work. The mid lane CS is also about 20, so really going in favour of Ovidius right now. Ovidius picking up early Mercury treads. I really like that pickup for him. And now Jarvan is sat on a pink ward. Are they going to try and wail on this Victor a little bit more?
Yeah, basically what the Merc Treads allows him to do is just to stop him, to lessen the effect of Victor's trap, so that he can just walk straight through and not feel as threatened by Victor's CC. Especially with Victor's ultimate, which I completely forget the name of. It's just going to lessen that silence as well, so it means that Zed will become more effective against Victor in a 1v1 scenario.
Lee Sin going into the top lane. Is he going to catch out this Vladimir? They knew he was coming. Vladimir pulls his Tempest, and he's going to get away. Jarvan coming round the back. Renekton is really low, but I think they're going to knock them both up. Cataclysm comes down. Renekton's still got everything available. They're going to go straight to the Jarvan. Has Jarvan set himself to seal his fate? Jarvan flashes away. Vladimir is tied to blooding. Kick comes out. I think Jarvan's going to get killed by the Vladimir. Vladimir, can he follow up? Wow. Flashes into Tides of Blood, and now Zed is coming up. Renekton's forced to flash. Deathmark comes out onto the Renekton. He's going to get taken out. That will pop and kill him, and that's a double kill for Cardiff in the lanes where it matters.
Well, right there, one of the biggest problems was when Lee Sin walked straight into the lane, Lee Sin actually used his Tempest to slow down Vladimir, but when Vladimir went into Sanguine Pool, completely negated it. What he should have done is walked into lane and auto-attack to apply red buff, so that he does have that slow on Vladimir, so that he can force the pool afterwards. But
yeah,
as you can see, that didn't happen.
Zed is now 3 for 0. That's going to be scary for Kent right now. What are they going to do to try and counteract this? The Zhonya's is trying to get worked on. tower goes down the bottom lane, but Joe Germ is here. Flash comes out from the Lulu. Oh wow, really aggressive Valkyrie from the Corki. He is kind of by himself a little bit. Frank is really low though. He's got no mana trying to live. Corki gets the shred down on the armor. He's trying to get some turrets off. Wow, he's going to take him really low. Is he going to get taken down? The block from the Jarvan knocks up into the Lulu. She's getting taken so low. Oak Germ doing some serious work. Down, Evidius is going to come down to try and back it up, but no one is going to go down.
I was very, very scared from Corki right there. Getting a bit too close. Caitlyn had barrier, and he still went past the turret just to try and proc the barrier. Although that could have ended up a lot worse for Corki if Corki had mispositioned the slightest little bit.
Yeah, Corki is really low right now. Is he just baiting something out right here? Because if Lisa managed to land a Q, he would have been dead. And that's a turret going over to Cardiff.
He does have barrier up, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, the Global Gold doing really good for Cardiff right now. They're currently sitting at about 2.5k ahead at about 13 minutes. Vladimir has now rotated to mid to just cover that mid lane turret, but Renekton is pushing hard on that top lane. Maybe they're going to just sacrifice that top lane turret.
Yeah, right now there's a lot of CS on Vladimir. He's 112 CS. He's the highest in the game right now. He's, he's 50 almost 50 CS ahead of Renekton. That's a lot of just farm to have on a Vladimir. It's going to make him very efficient in team fights, but it also makes his team efficient in team fights because Hemoplague applies all damage to those who have been applied with Hemoplague.
Yeah, and looks like they're going in onto this Victor. He's really low right now, the Jarvan, and double buffs going over to Caitlyn. Actually, the blue just procced just before Caitlyn's in. Wild Growth comes down onto Victor. Is he going to get taken down? I think they're going to have to back off. Sona ults across 3 members right there, but Ovidis is going to go down to the Caitlyn. Red buff ticking off on the Sona. Are they going to be able to kill her? I don't think they will. That was a poor engage from Oakgen right there. He was too low to deal with that.
That was just a very, very strange engage right there. Oakgen was low, and they didn't have the vision. There was 3 members of Kent right there, and they still went in for it. And what happened was just Jarvan just went in straight away, dies. Victor's still alive, and then Zed goes straight in for the death mark. That was way too aggressive right there from Cardiff. They should have just backed out and just allowed them to push away them back.
Yeah, Dragon sacrificed over to Kent. Another global gold is completely evened up. Vladimir, interestingly, has picked up Spirit of the Spectral Wraith. So he's really going for that split push Vladimir right now. He's not looking to organise himself for team fights. He wants to get that constant sustaining lane and just be a nuisance in that top lane or in the bot lane, wherever they choose to split push. Looks like he's getting onto this Renekton. Renekton has picked up a Spectre's Cow really early on. Looks like Jarvan is coming in. They want to try and push this mid lane down. That turret did go down for Kent. They do have the advantage right now. And Zed has managed to get almost no damage onto that mid lane turret.
Yeah, right now, as you can see, the mid lane turret is down, and that is the best turret to have down in the game purely because it opens up jungle paths and opens you to be able to ward within the jungle. So right now, as you can see, Cardiff does have that mid turret that they have down, and they really need to start pushing the mid turret so that they can get back on even ground with them now.
Yeah, and to be honest, they've just pulled ahead in Global Gold. Cardiff had a really good lead, but that mid lane team fight cost them so much. You've got to be remembering, at 16 minutes, you've got about 20 seconds on your death timers. It's nothing to be sniffed at. Ojam is level 8 right now. I think if they did go for engages, they could win. Victor takes a while to get into his sort of ridiculous damage state, but he has picked up the Sorcerer's Shoe, so he'll be doing a little bit more damage than he was previously, but he's still a little way away from building that Zhonya's, so he won't be negating that Zed ultimate yet. Looks like they're going to try and go for engage, possibly, because Renekton is coming up the side lane, but I don't think he's going to go through that brush. There is a ward there, and he would have been caught out. People are backing from Kent right now. Is Cardiff going to push for this mid lane turret?
I don't think they can. With Caitlyn with her very long range, you've got Lulu for harass, Victor with his death ray, I believe. There's a lot of siege, anti-siege potential in wave clear that they have. Pillover, Peacemaker, Death Ray. You've got Glitter Lance on Lulu. You can't push really against that with Cardiff's team. So what they want to do is they just want to back out, push their waves back, because at the end of the day, Cardiff's team is actually a better scaling team than Kent's. I'm not very sure about Victor's late game potential, although I do know that Zed is a very strong late game champion. Corki, not as strong as Caitlyn late game, but still very, very strong. And then you've got Vladimir. Now Vladimir becomes a monster late game.
Yeah, Vladimir is one of the better scaling AP carries in the game. Sonic Wave, Resonating Strike lands onto Vladimir. He gets caught out in a turret, in a trap. Sorry, guys, I'm stumbling over my beautiful words. But no one's going to engage on him because Oatjun did just come and back people out with his EQ combo right there. But I was going to pick up on the point on Victor. He has really good scaling AP ratios, so it makes him quite potent if he gets a lot of AP. And if you get some cooldown reduction, you can be spamming those Qs for ridiculous amounts of harass into the late game. He's one of those champions that's a bit like Nidalee. Don't want to get hit by the lasers, but if you do, it really hurts.
Yeah, I know that with his augment death ray, he will be doing a burn with his death ray, so that will give him an extra bit of DPS early game because you're getting like a free item early game, but he will be sacrificing a late game item because I know that his augments don't scale that well into late game.
Yeah, the 30% extra additional magic damage over 4 seconds is not the best, but it is pretty decent considering he could be throwing them out, and if he hits them during sieges, that could do a lot of damage to a squishy target. And it's quite hard to avoid Victor's lasers because the pathing of them, although linear, is quite deceptive of how far they can go. And death rate, your death rate is the laser. If anyone's asking, that is on his E. His Q is the power transfer, which gives you the shield, and his W is the gravity field, giving you the stun.
That's the one.
Yeah. Dragon coming up in 2 minutes. I would be expecting Cardiff to go and contest it. It looks like Oatjun is donating the 3rd red buff over to Corki. That's a really early red buff, which maybe he's thinking, okay, I need to get my Corki back into this game. He's 0-0-0 right now with a pretty decent farm. Once he finishes that Triforce, he'll be doing a lot of damage.
Well, it's more because Renekton and Leeton want to jump onto Corki, and Jarvan has 2 options. He's either going to peel for Corki at this point in time. You know, he does have his Demacian standard, so he can knock up. He can use his Cataclysm to peel. You know, he has his shield, but he can also engage on the enemy team along with Vladimir for Hemoplague, along with Sona for Crescendo. She's got a lot of options as to what you can do, but red buff going over to Corki is the best option right now, and I believe that when the red buff is up for Kent, Caitlyn will be taking that due to her long range, and she is actually doing quite a bit of damage now that she has some crit chance through the Zeal and the Brawler's Gloves.
Yeah, what we need to remember here is the synergy between the ultimates on Cardiff is absolutely intense. If Cardiff can get a Cataclysm on a good amount of people into a Vladimir Hemoplague, Zed can follow up with a devastating Death Mark. Think about the damage he'll do if he's doing that with the Hemoplague on. It will be incredible, considering that Death Mark does damage based on how much damage you do during the Death Mark's activation. If Vladimir increases the damage he's doing during it, that will be incredible. We do have a dragon coming up soon, guys. Renekton is in the top lane. Look like Sona's a little bit lagging behind. It's going to be 9 seconds till it's going to come up, but I think she'll make it in time.
What we've got to realize is once people start to get items, and then Caitlyn and Victor are looking towards defensive items, Caitlyn in particular has a really good option as to what she needs to go for. She could go for a Guardian Angel, so that when everything's been popped on her, she can revive herself. Or maybe they're going to go for Randuin's, or even the QSS, the Quicksilver Sash does negate Death Mark on Zed.
Looks like Jarvan's going in. He comes onto the Caitlyn. She gets out with her E. Looks like Hemoplague goes down onto just one target though. Corki's going to get away from the Renekton. He's got that red button ticking away. I'm not sure what's going on. There's so many people going down here, but Hemoplague does look like it's popped on the right people. But it's going really hard onto this Victor. Victor had Wild Growth put on him. Corki uses his barrier. Knock up from the Jarvan. They're going to have to get away right now. Death Mark just finishes off, but I think he flashed out of it. What a clutch flash. Is he going to flash over with the Rocket Barrage? No, he doesn't. And wow, that was a complete win for Cardiff right there.
Right at the start, it looked very, very shaky because Vladimir only hit one person with Hemoplague, as you said. That looked very, very shaky. Although they managed to get the Cataclysm down, Corki was able to zone Renekton away with red buff. As I said, Renekton was going to jump onto Corki, which he did do. And the red buff did completely just negate everything about Renekton. So overall, good team fight, although it's a shame that the Vladimir Hemoplague did not hit everybody in the team fight.
Yeah, and that could have been a more slick team fight for Cardiff, and think how hard that was for them to win that team fight if they managed to get everything together. What do you think that's going to happen? Do you think it's going to be complete devastation?
I think it would have been a 5-man ace right there, like 5-0 ace, possibly. If everyone was in the right position, that could have been a 5-0 ace, potentially. So, very, very devastating team fight that Cardiff do have, but what they did want to do was Kent wanted to have skirmishes, and they've never really had the chance to have skirmishes as such. They've never had a 3 or 4-man skirmish. It's always been either 5v5 team fights or a 2v1 scenario in which they've been ganked by Oatgerms. So we're getting to the point where everyone's grouping up now, and looking at the scores and CS wise, Vladimir has 198 farm right now. He is so scary right now with his Zhonya's and his Spectral Wraith.
Yeah, look how many kills he picked up in that last team fight, using the Tides of Blood across the entire team. That was the problem for Ken. They grouped up so hard, and even though Vladimir only hit one Hemoplague, he could just sit there spamming his Tides of Blood and doing that incredible amounts of damage. At 4 stacked right now, guys, it'll be doing about 280 damage per hit. If you think he's spamming that every couple of seconds, because the cooldown on Tides of Blood at this level is about 4 seconds. Really going to be doing this incredible amount of damage. I think they've left Vladimir too long right now because he's getting really big.
Yeah, looking at the way that the jungle was played by either team early game, Lee Sin did not get any jungle pressure top lane, other than he did get the gank, well, the counter gank onto Jarvan. So, really, this game is just going to get harder and harder and harder for Kent University.
Yeah, Jarvan actually now sitting on his ancient golem. He's got Moby boots and looking towards building his Locket of the Iron Solari. Lee Sin, however, has opted not for a jungle item and has finished that Locket of the Iron Solari straight up. Looks like there's a really hard push at this mid lane turret in tier 2. But considering the engage potential from Cardiff, I don't know if this is a smart idea from Ken.
This is a very, very volatile situation for Kent right now. If Jarvan does get into there, they can all follow up.
Yeah, and if Jarvan gets a really good knock-up right here, you've got to remember how fed Zed and Vladimir right now. Corki hasn't died either. He's got that Trinity Force, also the Sorcerer's Shoes, making his poke potential a lot higher. And he looks like he's trying to go straight for that Last Whisper. Not that much armor has actually been picked up on the side of Kent right now, but I think there is going to be a tier 1 turret in the mid lane going down for Cardiff. It looks like Jarvan is just coming in from the back. Sorry, I'm not sure if there's space. He's having problems.
No, I'm here. I'm here. I was just checking something there.
That's fine. Anyway, so it looks like Caitlin's picked up a static shift, so she's going to be having slightly better when poking with her auto attacks. Caitlin is probably the only way, I think. Looks like they're going to get Elected going with a slice and dice. Cole Monique and Corki just Valkyrie's away, but Valkyrie is now down for the next 15 seconds. Is Kent going to look to engage off this? I don't know. Yeah, but Caitlin is going to be the sole saving grace, I think, for Kent right here, because she's going to be really big if she can farm up as well as she can, and if she gets out that Last Whisper, she'll have the potential to beat Corki and Teamfight just because of her position.
Yeah, looking at the build right now, Caitlyn has a Bloodthirster and a Static Shiv. Now Static Shiv, as you know, does add extra DPS as well as give her bonus movement speed. Looking at Corki, Trinity Force, Sork Boots. Sork Boots, Trinity Force and a Last Whisper is what you've been seeing a lot with the Asian teams. As you know, Corki's damage is mostly magical when it comes to his abilities, because he's an AD caster type carry, or marksman as Riot likes to call them. So we do get to see a lot of damage coming out from Corki, but it means that he's going to be more vulnerable to getting caught.
Yeah, and Corki's just doing a good job here. He hasn't given any kills away in that lane where he was doing so bad. It looks like Sonic Wave gets onto him. Is Lee Sin going to follow up? I'm not sure they are. Caitlyn is really, really going hard on this Sona. Sona does not yet have tier 2 boots, so she's going to be a bit slower than everyone else. She has got a skill in the Song of Celerity, which does give you a slight movement increase. Looks like Jarvan is trying to take people down, but Vladimir is just split pushing top. If people come and engage for Kent right now in the mid lane, I don't know if Vlad's going to get here in time.
Sona needs to be very careful right now. Sona's actually ran out of mana. She might not have enough mana for Crescendo right now.
He tried to do a safeguard wall jump, but wow, Oatgerm gets taken really low. Caitlyn finishes him off with the Pilgrim Peacemaker. Wow, slowed by the Zed Shadow, but I think that's all they're going to take from it. Vladimir is now coming around the back. that split push wasn't really working out for them.
That was a really, really good opportunity grab by Kent. They seen that Sona was actually out of mana the instant that she popped her Song of Celerity. As soon as she popped that, she was completely out and she couldn't use Crescendo. So
Is
they went
Vladimir
straight
going to
onto
come in
it.
here? He looks like he wants to go in. No, he's going to just back off. Sona gets a 5-man Crescendo. Great Hema play coming out right there. The Vladimir pulls. Zed gets a good deathmark on, but he goes down. Is Vladimir going to be able to do the damage here? Wow, look at that damage coming up from him. He uses his Zhonya's. Please give him the pen. So Corki really wants to get in there, get the kill onto Victor. He goes down. Are they going to get the kill onto Caitlyn? Yes, they do. It's a double kill for Corki and a triple kill for Vladimir. Wow, they've left that Vladimir to farm for too long. That damage that he had from Hema Plague was absolutely incredible. Give props to Sona. A 5-man Crescendo.
That's exactly what they wanted, and as I called it, they would ace them as soon as they managed to land all of their stuff at once. That was a huge team fight right there. Really big props to Sona for being able to pop that 5-man Crescendo, and for Vladimir to use the initiation and get right into there, flashing in and Hemo Plaguing, and managing to spread all of his damage right across the enemy team in a 4v5 scenario.
Yeah, so I was just linking the bracket for you guys in Twitch chat. Wow, so right now Vladimir is an absolute beast, and I haven't seen this top laner for Cardiff in a while, and he's never played Vladimir in any of the games that I've seen particularly, but wow. He's on split push build, and he's not even split pushing to an extent. But he's doing some extreme damage, and in the fact that he's got so many kills, it doesn't even matter what he's built right now, because he's built a Rabadon to Zhonya's, and all the extra AP he gets from the Spirit and the Spectral Ravens, along with the Spell Vamp, he's almost unkillable.
Right now, looking at Vladimir, his Crimson Pact is actually giving him almost 630 HP right now, just because he's been building ability power.
Yeah, so he's got almost a Giant's Belt, or just over a Giant's Belt. Caitlyn's trying to get on him with the red buff, but look, he's taking absolutely no damage because of the sustain that he has with his transfusion. Absolute beast, this guy. I don't know what Kent can do to shut him down, because I think the AP scaling they have from Victor completely outmatched by the Vladimir. And we've said that Vladimir is a beast late game, and that's exactly what he's showing. If he goes for that, if he goes for the Void stuff next, he'll be just decimating everyone on the team of Kent.
One thing I have noticed though, and
wow, Deathmark onto the Caitlyn. Looks like the Cataclysm is going to come down. Is she going to go down? No. Wild Growth comes down onto her. Hema Plague goes down there. Is Vladimir going to get in there? Wow. Loads of damage coming out from the Corki. Hema Plague blocks onto the Lee Sin, and that's 2 kills for basically nothing. And I think they're going to turn the burn the Baron.
Time for objectives, guys. This could be either they're going to. Oh, they get Crescendo goes down and knockups Renekton, and that's him.
Renekton uses dominance, but Corki Valkyrie's into the middle, and the stun goes down. But I don't know if anyone's going to get away from this. Victor gets a great stun off, and no one's going to get away. No one's going to be able to get the kill on him right there, though. And Victor, unfortunately, just not having the impact that we thought he would.
That was quite aggressive from Cardiff right there. They could have actually just went straight into Baron and actually just done it there and then without having to kill the Renekton. But Sona seen an opportunity, so she went straight in for the Renekton.
Yeah, and Corki, with those Sorcerer's Boots, is doing an incredible amount of damage with just his abilities. Really well played. And I think that, Double Lift really hardcore beat on that build, but people are using it for a reason, because it's good. And it's good at poking, and that's what Corki's supposed to be good at. All of his damage coming out is mainly magic damage. Rockets are magic damage. Phosphorus Bomb is magic damage. Valkyrie is magic damage. The only thing he doesn't have that is magic damage is his Armor Shred, which is the Gatling gun, and that doesn't even scale that well off AD.
Looking at what's happened right now, Corki, instead of actually going for Last Whisper, which could have been more beneficial looking at the items of the Bruisers in this team, he's went Infinity Edge.
Yeah, that's a snowball build right there.
Lots of damage right there. And if you look at Caitlyn in comparison, Caitlyn does have less gold. I mean, if you look at it right now, that's 11,260 odd to 10,200. Quite a big difference, but Caitlyn went for Bloodthirster first. Now, I hate on the Bloodthirster build personally because I feel it's weak. Because when you've hit this part of the game, you've got a Bloodthirster and a Static Shiv. If you had an Infinity Edge, a Static Shiv and a Vamp, you'd be doing so much more damage. And even though it's not reliable damage because it is critical strike, you will overall be doing far much more DPS.
Yeah, and Corki built that build because it's a snowball. I just saw him crit an auto attack for 789 right now, and that's the power of an Infinity Edge against people who haven't even built that much armor. If you look at the team, the only person on the team with armor right now, bar the Ninja Tabai from Lee Sin, is Renekton. He's only got a Randuin, so he hasn't even built into that Sunfire Cape just yet. But it looks like they're going to try and catch him out. A 5-man Cardiff gank onto the Renekton. He's going to get caught out. He just managed to slice and dice. Deathmark goes down onto him. Cataclysm comes down as well, and that's a dead Renekton. And they're going to take this tower tier 2 in a turret for it.
Right there, they really wanted to get a catch onto one person. Just that one person dying means an objective will be taken, even if they do manage to clear the creep wave. Eventually,
they're going to go onto the Caitlyn. Hemoplague comes down. Wildgrowth comes down to the Caitlyn preemptively. She's going to get taken down, though. I think that Hemoplague is going to pop for an absolute ton. No, he takes out the Victor instead. I think they're just going to turn and take this tier 2 in the turret. And look, Vladimir is just tanking it without a care in the world.
Yeah, when you have a Spectral Wraith, a Death Cap, and Zhonya's, yeah, it doesn't matter. Like you've got the armor, you have the health, and you also have the spell vamp. Like you can tank quite a lot of tower shots in just not even look.
And looks like they're just going to tank these towers up because they're so far ahead right now that it doesn't even matter. And they've got that Baron buff for the health regen.
Very, very good call from Cardiff just to go in, take these objectives, just strip the map of objectives, allow all the minions to push, go back to base, get items, and then force fights. This game is right in the hands of Cardiff right now. Yeah,
and Corky just picking up his last whisper. He hasn't got any any more attack speed than the Trinity Force provides, but you don't need any more attack speed for the Corky. He is an ability-based champion, and with that Phage and the Sheen, he's really, really good at spamming abilities and getting off those extra auto attacks. So he's really doing a good job right now. Zed has picked up his last whisper. He's looking to build a GA next. Once he gets that, I think it's almost game over, if not already game over for Ken. Dragon is spawning in 2 seconds as well, so this is going to be another global objective going over to Cardiff.
Just the money's going to keep on racking up, and right now, as I said, Cardiff does have the game within their hands. The question is if it's going to slip out their hands by doing something really dumb. Although, at this point, Skylanders, do you really think that Cardiff can lose this lead now?
I think they have to do something incredibly Reginald, incredibly Zuna, something like that to win this game. It's basically within their grasp, and despite the Caitlyn and the Victor should have been performing well, but despite the Caitlyn and the Victor's farm, I just don't know if there's anything that Cardiff can do. They're just a more practiced team. They've played in a lot of our preseason friendlies. They're really doing a good job right now. It looks like they're going to try and force these fights. I think they want to take an inhibitor while they can.
Well, hopefully it doesn't turn out to be one of those Evil Genius games where we'll be sitting here for a few hours.
Yeah, I don't know if Kent have the team comp to perform an Evil Geniuses. Well, more a CLG EU. We don't tend to see Evil Geniuses play that kind of game anymore. But no. I don't think they have the team comp to pull that off.
No, they just don't have the wave clear to stop such a big siege. When you have Sona, you've got Jarvan, you've got Corki, and Vladimir all pushing waves, eventually your tower will get pushed up really hard by creep waves. And looking at the base right now, all they have left is a second tier turret in the bottom lane, and then their base turrets. So they've got to be very, very careful right now.
Vladimir is working towards that Ryalize, so he's actually going to get a good amount of extra AP from the Ryalize, because obviously it synergizes with his passive. He's only got 20 bonus AP right now, but that will increase slightly when he gets that Ryalize. And with the slow that it provides, team fights are going to be almost inescapable for anyone that he gets his damaging on.
One thing I want to point out is, or even discuss, for example, as Vladimir opted Flash Ignite over, for example, Flash and Ghost or Ghost and Ignite. What do you think that the reason for that was, and what's your preference personally?
Yeah, I personally prefer Flash Ghost for Vladimir, just for the split push, but then you haven't seen him playing that split push. Vladimir, he has gone for that kill potential, which has obviously worked out really well for him, so what do I know? So he's doing a really good job right now, so we can't really fault what he's built, picked for his summoner spells, but Flash and Ghost is what I usually tend to take on Vladimir, just because if you look into, especially in solo queue, get away from those types of ganks, it's really good to just run away with Ghost and then Flash as well.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of Vladimir's tend to use Ghost. The reason being is Vladimir's not a burst champion. He doesn't have like instantaneous burst. He's a very consistent DPS type champion. So he wants to be able to keep up with someone while using his Tides of Blood, his Transfusion, his Hemo Plague, and his Sanguine Pool. He wants to keep up with the DPS and keep up with the champion movement speed wise. And right now he's going to get O'Reilly's, so that will negate the idea of not having Ghost.
Yeah, and I think they're going to need to push this lane up really hard. If they can take that bottom inhibitor, Corki is split pushing. Now it's split push Corki. Doesn't look like Kent are going to respond with an engage. Renekton's trying to go up there to deal with it himself, but I don't know if Renekton can deal with the Corki now that he's got that last whisper. Armor Shred coming down. Corki is completely wrecking up Renekton right now. Renekton hasn't got anything to respond to him. The inhibitor goes down. Really well played from the Corki right there, because he's just bullying that guy out of the way. Looks like Lee Sin is trying to go in onto him. He flashes onto the Vlad. Vlad uses Zhonya to just get away from that kick. Crescendo comes down across the Victor. Victor's probably going to go down here. I'm not sure if Hema Plague's gone out yet. Victor's Zonya's through the death mark, but I think he's Zonya too quickly. He shuts down the Vladimir though. The GA from the Zed has been popped. This is a really good team fight for Kent right now, but I think Vladimir. Oh wow, the flash from Avidius through the death rate and then uses the Shadow Dash to get in range and you just completely wipe that Victor off the map. Really well played from the Zed right there, and to be honest, his mechanics on the Zed is showing.
I'm very surprised actually that Corki came to assist in the teamfight. When Renekton left him alone to come and assist in that teamfight, Corki could have actually went mid lane and pushed quite hard and even have got a turret out of that. Right now, as you can see, both teams are now not in equal standing, of course, but Kent is starting to show that, yeah, we can teamfight and we can skirmish you guys 4v4. We're not afraid to get in engages now.
Yeah, and to be honest, right now the inhibitor's gone down. Baron has respawned. Vladimir is up in 5 seconds. Victor's up in 16. The potential for that Baron is lying in favour of Cardiff. I was really impressed with that play from Zed right now. That was really, really good. I don't think I've seen a better play this tournament, just from the pure reaction time from him right there and to secure the kill. I'm going to nominate that one for the best plays of this tournament so far. Oh wow, and Lee Sin gets caught out by the Jarvan with a knock-up. He's going to use his ward jump to get away. He gets the resonating strike back onto the Jarvan. I don't think he's going to re-engage. Vladimir is coming up the back to try and get back into this team fight. Ojo gets another resonating strike onto him. I don't think Lee Sin's going to follow up. Corki is sitting there. Is he going to go onto this Lee Sin? Lee Sin is completely out of position for his team right now. Coach Ojo goes over with Cataclysm, gets into the Victor. Is Vladimir going to be able to follow up? Victor Zonya's with the Wild Growth on, but there's loads of damage coming down onto the carries of Kent right now, and to be honest, Vladimir and Zed just cleaned up the fight. I'm not sure Victor can do much here. Victor's ultimate comes out. I think he's going to be able to take down the Zed. Zed just gets completely wrecked in that Zed. Really well played from Victor. Good mechanics for him right there. Renekton's still up, but so is Vlad and Jarvan, and actually, all in all, Kent came out better.
Right there, the tunnel focused way too hard on the wrong people. Like, as you've seen there, Zed and Sona went straight onto Victor after he put down his gravity field. It was a bad decision from them. They seen the Renekton had been, against Corki right there. They should have went back and peeled for Corki, killing Renekton, and then pushing objectives. Leaving Corki by himself there was a very, very bad idea.
Yeah, and now, really, I think Cardiff needs to just regroup and go and take this Baron, because they are stronger if they get a good team fight. And looks like Jarvan is just clearing out the minions for the red buff and not actually taking the red buff away from Corki, which is a good idea. Unsure why he decided to take the little minions unless he needed 8 for something, but again, I just think that Cardiff need to regroup here and just really concentrate on getting a good team fight and a good cataclysm, because at the moment Jarvan is engaging before anyone can follow him up, and they need to have a really quick follow-up from both teams. Now Victor's picked up quite a few items. He's actually going to be quite scary.
Yeah, looking at the teams right now, Zed has a G8, not going to be up for quite some time. There's approximately about 2.5 minutes on it ish. Victor right now, if you look at his items, he's got Leandries and he's got a Void Staff. So a lot of penetration, and he has a lot of HP percentage damage from the Leandrews, and he does have the Zhonyas, so he is going to negate Zed when it comes to the death mark. Caitlyn is not picked up a GA or a QSS yet, so Zed will be very hard for her to get away from.
Yeah, and right now they just need to focus on getting that Vladimir a good Hema play across a good crescendo. Zona is just warding the Baron area. I think Zed is going to take this blue buff away. And now they just need to focus on having a good team fight. Lee Sin is backing at the moment though. If Lee Sin does back, and they know he's backed, are they just going to go ahead and straight away and take this Baron? But Lee Sin has got home guards and is rushing back towards that area. Are they going to bait this, or are they going to just go straight up for a team fight?
Cardiff should want to catch someone out. They do have the gold lead to just ward the entire jungle, get vision everywhere. They do have an oracles as well, so they can deny vision. They just want to trap somewhere really somewhere not so obvious, or they could just go straight for Baron.
Lee Sin gets caught out by the Java, and he gets completely deleted off the map.
I called that. I called that.
You did indeed say you are the best caster here.
No,
No,
it's fine.
You're basically Jad.
You're play-by-play. You're the best play-by-play. It's cool.
Here we go. Right, we're just taking the inhibitor in the top lane. They're going to back out from this. Look at Victor's damage though. Really doing a hell of a lot to both Ojan and one in Solidarity, who are both the tankiest members of the Cardiff team. Looks like they're going to try and catch out in a really odd place. Oh wow, that was a bit of an odd EQ because they hadn't got any vision. Maybe they were just expecting him to sort of run that way. He did just back out at the last minute though. Are they going to turn around? Are they going to try and burn for Baron here?
They really want to go for Baron now. Lee Sin is down. Their primary threat, if it were, for Baron steals is down. So they really should be able to take this with ease and then pressure the lanes that haven't been pushed straight up to the base. As you can see, bottom lane has just been destroyed. Like, that's the second tier turret gone. So now they can go back, get some items, and when they come back, they can go straight up the mid lane and push it, as well as the rest of the lanes getting pushed because of the way that the towers and creeps work. They'll be able to push by themselves. Pressuring that mid lane will allow the rest of the lanes to push in, and this is going to be the final push, if it were, straight on to Kent for a win.
Interestingly, I want to pick up on an item choice of the Renekton. Picked up a Trinity Force. Not the best synergy with Renekton, just because Renekton doesn't rely too hard on attack speed. Also, his cooldowns on his abilities are quite long, so he's not going to make the most of the optimal timing of the Sheen cooldown. What do you think about that pickup, despite the fact it doesn't work too well with Renekton?
If you look at it this way, Renekton does use the Sheen proc on W, so it will be quite strong there, and he does have quite a lot of procs with Sheen due to the fact that he does actually have an ability based kit, but really the mana, the ability power doesn't benefit him. He doesn't really need the Phage passive.
Looks like Jarvan is going in. Sorry, Jarvan is going in onto that bottom tier turret, trying to catch out the Victor maybe, but no one was there to follow him. Again, Oatgen just going a little bit too ham for the rest of his team. The wave clear coming out from Kent right now is really good, and to be honest, they're going to have a hard time sieging, even though they have a really good seed team. I think they just need to get a hard engage if they can on a squishy target.
Well, if you look top lane right now, the super creeps are pushing onto the Nexus turrets right now, so it's going to be very difficult for them to keep this last turret up.
Oatgerm just getting onto Lee Sin. He's getting a good bit of baiting. It looks like Lee Sin's just going to back up onto the Victor with the safeguard. I think there's going to be an engage soon, if I'm not sure, because Oatgerm is looking like he's itching to go, and he has been the main method of engaging for Cardiff so far. If he can get in there, Hawkey's got a GA, Zed's got a GA, and Vladimir is obviously just basically unkillable with his pool and his Zed goes really hard, Ovidius going really hard on the cake, gets out and takes her out. This is going to be the win for Cardiff if they play it right. Looks like Oatgen's going to jump in with the EQ, misses it, but Cataclysm's onto the Lee Sin. Lee Sin gets away, uses the wild growth and kicks him away, but it looks like Renekton's completely zoned right now by himself. Great Hema Plague onto the Renekton and the Lulu, they're taking really low. Victor is used Zhonya's, just manages to juke out the Sonar ultimate, but look how low they both are. Cardiff doing so much damage through that one in Solidarity. He's taken pretty low. Will Victor be able to get the kill? They're going to take the inhibitor. I don't know if Victor's going to be able to hand that stand up this on himself. Ovidius going really hard onto the Victor and doing what he has done all game, deleting people from the map. And GG Cardiff, they just had the better team synergy right here. This is not the end that you'll see for Kent. They will go into the lower bracket to face against some of the entry-level teams, and they may end up ending in the Super 8 too. We'll let you guys know. What a brilliant game, though.
Yeah, that was very, very strong performance by Cardiff right there. They managed to get the team fights that they wanted to have. Sona's Crescendo mixed up with the Hemo play from Vladimir, along with Zed being able to come straight and assassinate Caitlyn, took her completely out of the fight. If you notice right at the end there, Caitlyn actually went for a Guardian Angel right there, a Guardian Angel or a QSS, but she took the Negatron cloak, so that tells me that she did go for the QSS first, which in my opinion wouldn't have been very, very beneficial for her, seeing as Zed was at that stage. If she was scared of Zed in the first place, she had just got the chain vest just for that little bit extra resistance. But getting caught right there at the end, that completely sealed the deal for Cardiff right there.
Yeah, and I'm going to try and get an interview lined up with someone from Cardiff. I'd like to get OutGem if I could, because he is my man of the match right there. That early jungle pressure that he exerted, getting Ovidius ahead on the Zed, really well played. I'm a big fan of OutGem in the jungle, and I know you are too, Space. So, yeah, we'll be over with you soon, guys, with an interview. We'll get some questions ready, and I'll talk to the Cardiff guys.